Shabbat Shalom. Let me hear everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Our most weather-accurate rabbi said we should start on time and keep it brief, so we'll listen. I think it looks beautiful to me, but we're going to heed his advice. We turn to page 97 in your prayer books at the top is to welcome our wonderful tefillah team with a few new young singers, and we sing, "We are all created in the image of God, Anachnu b'tselem Elohim."
Just open your heart and let it out. We all got a piece to bring. We all got a song to sing. Just open your heart and let it out. Yeah. When I reach out to you and you to me, B'Tselem Elohim, B'Tselem Elohim. Yeah, 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 yeah. We share our hopes and our dreams. B'Tselem Elohim. Each one of us, B'Tselem Elohim.
We all want to speak it well, just open up your heart and let it out. We all got a mountain to climb, we all got a truth to find, just open your heart and let it out. When I reach out to you and you to me, B'Tselem Elohim, we become B'Tselem Elohim. Yeah, 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 when we share our hopes and our dreams, B'Tselem Elohim. Each one of us B'Tselem Elohim. Breshit bara Elohim. Breshit bara Elohim. Breshit bara Elohim. All our hopes, all our dreams, Breshit bara Elohim. Each one of us B'Tselem Elohim. Breshit bara Elohim. All our hopes, all our dreams, Breshit bara Elohim. Each one of us B'Tselem Elohim. Yeah, yeah. When I reach out to you and you to me, B'Tselem Elohim, B'Tselem Elohim. Yeah, 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 yeah. We share our hopes and our dreams. B'Tselem Elohim, B'Tselem Elohim. Yeah, 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 yeah. One of us B'Tselem Elohim. Yeah, 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 yeah. One of us B'Tselem Elohim.
Shabbat Shalom. We are so delighted to welcome all of you, to welcome our amazing Teen Tefillah team, to welcome our ominous, dark Shabbat clouds that join us every week during the summer this year. As we invite up Shirley Saltzman to come and light our candles to welcome Shabbat in honor of her 74th birthday. Am I allowed to say that? Yes, because you look amazing, and you are amazing. Page 13.
Yom Zeh l'Israel Orav Simcha, Shabbat Menucha. This is Israel's day of light and joy, a Sabbath of rest. As we kindle these Sabbath flames, may there be light and joy, happiness and holiness, serenity and peace in our homes and in our hearts. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot and commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadik ner shel Shabbat.
We continue with L'chadodi on page 27.
Zachor b'dibu echad b'shmiyanu el am yuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad Lashem multifaret v'litilah
No service I love more than the Teen Tefillah outdoor service. You know, we talk a lot in the rabbinic world about keva and kavanah, and keva being the act of praying out of the book, reading the words of the prayer, and kavanah being the spirit of the prayer, to get us into the right mindset, to be in the right headspace. And there is nothing that gets me in a better headspace, ready to pray, than this beautiful outdoor sanctuary with these amazing young people leading us in prayer. So we turn to page 34 as we begin the heart of our service in that beautiful place, that beautiful headspace of Shabbat.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה העלמד יפרח גדותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם לעלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה העלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה ותושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בהלמה וימרו. We rise together. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Together at the bottom of page 36. Our kind deeds are used by God as seed for the planting of trees in the Garden of Eden. Thus, each of us, by our deeds, has the power to create our own paradise. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, O God, who makes the evening fall. Together on page 40. Creation, revelation, redemption. Together. The cycle of our prayer reflects the history of our people. It is an ancient circle revolving around a single eternal truth. There is only one God in heaven and in earth, one God who created the universe and revealed the Torah, who lifts up the fallen and redeems the oppressed, who separates light from darkness and good from evil, who is the source of our blessings and the yearning of our hearts.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema
seated, we continue on page 42. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
As if we couldn't add more beauty to our outdoor sanctuary tonight, we will, by inviting a couple up to the bima who are about to meet under the chuppah. And so we call Ellen Zabel and Jonathan Gay to receive their Ufruf wedding blessing. And as they come forward, they will be receiving a gift of a year's membership at Temple Israel and a mezuzah for the doorpost of the home that they will share together.
ברוכים הבאים בשם אדוני, ברכנוכם מבית אדוני.
You guys can hold hands. You're almost married. You two are about to embark on an amazing adventure together, going from individuals to becoming your own family, making your own family, and starting your journey as a married couple hand in hand. We ask God that you sanctify their love, help them to create a home built on their values of faith, of learning, of community. And may your chuppah, your wedding canopy, be transformed into a home, protecting your marriage, open on all sides to welcome in those who love you and those whom you love. May you always be with them, God, guiding them, supporting them, encouraging them, filling their home with joy, and most importantly, with laughter. And together we say, Amen.
Mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, Elanu. Simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, Elanu.
On page 46, right next to the Hebrew of Michamocha, we read, "Who is like thee, O God, among the mighty? Who is like thee, glorious in holiness, awe-inspiring, working wonders?" The Michamocha in every single service should remind us of the wonders that we are surrounded by every single day, when we wake up in the morning, when we go about our day, till we go to sleep at night. So we sing the Michamocha together on page 46.
Mika mocha nehedar b'koroteh.
join me in the middle of page 47. Cause us, our Creator, to lie down in peace, and raise us up, O sovereign God, to renewed life and peace. Spread over us the shelter of your peace, guide us with your good counsel, and be our shield of mercy and of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, v'shameru la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam, berit olam.
You sing that, we'll add a little something else. Sing with us. V'shamru.
V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, v'shameru la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam, berit olam.
Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz.
Shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat,
Shabbat
v'shameru la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam, berit olam.
Ubayom hashmi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash.
Shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat,
Shabbat
v'shameru la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam, berit olam, berit olam, berit olam.
We rise for the Avot on page 51. Adonai, sefatai tiftachu lefi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'hanora, Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei HaKol, V'zocher Hasei ve'imahot, U'mevii Geula לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך חוזר, מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה.
Together at the bottom of page 52. Prayer invites us to let God's presence suffuse our spirits, to let God's will prevail in our lives. Prayer cannot bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Blessed are you, O God, who renews all things.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. As you're seated, we pray silently.
Beautiful melody made for singing. Try it out. Sing along. Sing along.
Continue with the Mishaberach on page 66. Now, there'll be some people who came to services this evening who are going to say it almost rained. And that's the way they see the world. And there are others who are going to say it was the most perfect evening that we could have imagined. When we are confronted with illness, it's never easy. But we also understand that attitude truly is important. Do we have the strength to take care of the people we love? Are we going to be there to support them, to take care of them, sometimes make very difficult decisions as they are in a hospital or on their journey? And yet we understand that certainly there are moments of cloud and there maybe are moments of beauty. But as we think about those who are ill, think about the ways in which we can be with them, support them, as we pray that their journey will be back toward health. We sing together on page 66, the Mishaberach.
To make our lives a blessing, and let us sing Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor haberacha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of, and let us sing Amen.
So, yes, unfortunately, it's broken. And that's the punchline to a story that I will tell you a little bit later on. But first, I'd like to send a big hello to our friends out in Drummond Island, Michigan, in the UP. That's where tonight's stories that I want to tell you are set. I have 2 stories and 3 lessons that I learned on vacation. The first is actually related to the reason why we even went up to the UP to start with. About a year ago, I had been asked to do a Temple member wedding up north, and I was very excited because I had never been to the UP before. Not to mention the fact that they're a very sweet couple together, that the wedding was set on the most beautiful shores of Lake Huron, where the backdrop is incredible, almost like Eden is going away. And the people are as friendly a folk as you can imagine. Now, in planning the wedding, they paid attention to every detail. And regarding the flowers, they were ordered up specially from Detroit. And when they arrived in Drummond, they were put in the cooler, simply waiting for the florist to arrive. But in the interim, the star flower of the bouquet, the peonies, had frozen, and they were ruined. And in an instant, hopes were dashed, and the sadness was creeping in, because flowers are important at a wedding. But Drummond is a very small little island where news travels fast. And before they knew it, the townspeople were offering freshly cut peonies out of their own gardens. And in the end, the bride had the most beautiful bouquet and centerpieces filled with the most gorgeous pink peonies, more beautiful than the original ones had ever been. After the wedding, Sheldon and I stayed on a few extra days for vacation. We were calling it our second honeymoon because it came on the heels of Rabbi Lader's love sermon from last week, and because we're celebrating our 15th anniversary next month. What I rediscovered is how amazing it is when there's no stress, when there's nothing to do, how time seems to elongate. There's so much of it. There's a sense of peace and quiet, the ability to connect both with ourselves, with each other, and the environment around us. And so with so much time on our hands,
Monday morning, we met up with some friends who live on the island and decided to go bike riding. We were having the best time. The plan was an 18-mile bike ride, which in and of itself was a little overwhelming to me, as I'm not a major bike rider, but I was up for the challenge. At every hill, I visualized Wonder Woman and even sang the theme song to myself as I pushed myself up the hill. Wonder Woman! I can do this! And then as we rode along the road, I was completely entranced. I saw a deer prancing off to the side, and there were butterflies flittering around and a hawk overhead, and I lost myself in the scenery around me. And even though it was a Monday morning, I was thinking that this is what Shabbat should feel like. This is the peace that our rabbis talked about. This was that taste of the world to come, and it was just perfect. And then, it wasn't. I felt a little pinch on my hand as I looked down to see this big, ugly bug stinging me, and I tried to fling it away with my left hand, but it wouldn't move, and so I took my right hand off of the handlebar to brush it away, and I totally lost control of the bike, taking a pretty big tumble. And yes, I was wearing a helmet, but no, it didn't help my elbow. We were about 8 miles into our ride, and even though our friends offered to go back and get the car, I wasn't going to be a wimp. I was Wonder Woman. Well, there's a lesson in everything, isn't there? And so what did I learn from our vacation and the time on Drummond Island? Well, first of all, I learned that it's important to have a community around you. People who care, people who want to help, people who are more than willing to cut their peonies out of their gardens, even for a stranger, so that she can have the most beautiful bridal bouquet ever. The story touched me in a way that really surprised me. I had just thought the flowers were pretty, but when I heard the story, they became magnificent. How often are we willing to go out of our way for others? How often do we give a little something of ourselves to make someone else's life that much better? I also learned or really reminded myself that it's important to take time away, important to take a vacation, rest, relax, repeat. It's not something we do very often as we get wrapped up in the craziness of the everyday. But as Jews, we have it built right into our schedule with Shabbat. And this weekend was a reminder of how important Shabbat is for us. I promise you, it makes everything better. And finally, I learned that when you fall off your bike, you have to be Wonder Woman. You have to get right back up and keep riding. Of course, not if you're really injured, but I didn't know I had a broken elbow. But the point is simply, we can't let the fear of something keep us down. And funny enough, my vacation lessons are repeated in this week's Torah portion, Pinchas. First, there's a census, reminding us about the value of community. Second, it speaks of Shabbat and sacred occasions, how to observe, and how important they are. And third, the fabulous story of Zelophehad's daughters. When the Israelites were nearing the end of their journey, nearly reaching the Promised Land, a census was taken, and each tribe was given a measure of land as an inheritance. But when the land was apportioned, the daughters found that they had been disenfranchised simply because they were women. They didn't just accept it. In fact, they challenged the system and won. In my mind, they were the Wonder Women of their day. Mala, Noah, Hogla, Milcah, and Tirzah, 5 women who are named, which in and of itself is an unusual thing. Their story mentioned 3 different times in the Bible, again, a significant feature for biblical text. These 5 daughters, they bring their case before Moses, and through the judicial system, ultimately change the inheritance process forever, allowing women to inherit land. They understand the meaning of the land and the importance of changing the law, but even more significant, they recognize their own power, a lesson that we can all learn, whoever we are. So in truth, I didn't set out to find these lessons in the Torah portion. I simply wanted to share some thoughts from vacation, and yet there they were. And for some reason, I'm always surprised how the Torah seems to mimic our lives, or perhaps it's vice versa. So let us then look to the Torah for guidance, for how to live, for support, for meaning, and this week in particular, focusing on the themes of community, of Shabbat, and of course, how we can all be superheroes. Shabbat Shalom.
Going to continue the service with the Aleinu on page 76. And for the honor of opening the Ark this evening, I'd like to call upon two people who are giving this summer so much to this community and congregation. They're a wonderful couple. You all know them. The first is Sherry Finsilver. Now, what is Sherry giving? She's giving up her husband for the entire summer because Stanley Finsilver, a past president, engaged in everything about this congregation, has undertaken the task of guaranteeing that the building that you're seeing in front of you that you cannot enter is going to be available for the high holidays for every one of us. Sherry and Stan, we love you. We love you for what you're doing. We love you for your commitment to this institution, and I would like you to please come forward and open the ark for us as we invite all the kids to come up as we rise for the Aleinu on page 76.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומונים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream to be and oh to lose, a thing for fools this, and a holy thing. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. We take a moment in our service to remember those in our congregation and community who have died in the past 30 days, the period of Shloshim: Minnie Nathanson Adelson, Melvin Barnett, Martin Doran, Nettie Firestein, Sheila Foreman, Mickey Greenfield, Carol Greenwald, Herb Gubo, Adele Gudis, Gerald Hallberg, Judy Herman, Dennis Israel, Mel Markowitz, Pearl Mautner, Paul Palumbo, Jerome Powell, Marilyn Schneid, Judge Michael Schwartz, Herman Schneider, Ashley Solomon, Maury Wexler, Susan Agger, Helen Pliskow, and Richard Hartz. We recall also those whose yortzites occur on this Shabbat: Harry Apple, Clara Arbit, Sarah Seltz Arnoff, Nathan Bell, Minnie Berman, Lloyd Blazowski, Barbara Bachoff, Francis Boxman, Sanford Bushkoff, Saul Choden, Norman Cohen, Norton Cohen, Harry Feldman, Jeffrey Fish, Morris Friedman, Sidney Geller, Albert Gershenzon, Jeffrey Andrew Gray, Harold Haber, Henry Halprin, Alan Israel, Philip Kayla, Suzanne Knight, Martin Kopitz, Albert Margolin, Max Millman, Minnie Millman, Rose Monshine, Joseph Pearl, Samuel Rappaport, Sally Grant Reisman, Arthur Remsen, Jack Rosenberg, Shirley Schneider Barrett, Herman Shapiro, Rose Shapiro, Ruth Sofin, Monroe Title, Michelle Naomi Weberman, David Weiner, Gertrude Weintraub, Brenda Weisberg, Faye Wool, Hanley York, Gail Yovis, Judith Sager, Florence Kaplan, Morris Bayrosh, Isaac Bayrosh, Willie Bayrosh, Arthur Sklar, Harris Schneider, Phyllis Menders, Ida Sofrin, Leonard Warsh, Irving Stoller, Alan Gray, Ethel Weiss, Barbara Schwartz, Lawrence Apple, Theodore Ross, Lillian Press, Harry Rosengard, Susan Agger, Henry Gottlieb, Celia Hirsch, Bluma Mayerson, Shirley Sittner, Mary Ben, Dr. Myron Gerber, Alan Zager, and Louis Kay. We remember them with love and honor them with words of Kaddish on page 80. Please rise. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach irute v'amlich malchute, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon, v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach le'olam le'olmei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We pray that the source of peace sends peace to all who mourn, and comfort to all who are bereaved among us. Amen.
Huge thanks to our Teen Tefillah team for bringing such beautiful voices and spirit to our service. We conclude on page 103 and perhaps send some love and healing to Israel on this day if you've heard the news of the attack in Jerusalem. We send this as a prayer for peace.
Odevo shalom aleinu, Odevo shalom aleinu ve'akula. Odevo shalom aleinu, Odevo shalom aleinu, Odevo shalom aleinu ve'akula. Salam aleinu ve'akol haolam. Salam, salam, salam aleinu ve'akol haolam. Salam, salam. Odivo shalom aleinu, Odivo shalom aleinu, Odivo shalom aleinu ve'akula. Odivo shalom aleinu, Odivo shalom aleinu, Odivo shalom aleinu ve'akula. Salam aleinu ve'akol haolam. Salam, salam, salam aleinu ve'akol haolam. Salam, salam. Odivo shalom aleinu, Odivo shalom aleinu, Odivo shalom aleinu ve'akula. Odivo shalom aleinu, Odivo shalom aleinu, Odivo shalom aleinu ve'akula. Salam aleinu ve'akol haolam. Salam, salam, salam aleinu ve'akol haolam. Salam, salam. Odivo shalom aleinu, Odivo shalom aleinu, Odivo shalom aleinu ve'akula. Odivo shalom aleinu, Odivo shalom aleinu, Odivo shalom aleinu.